and welcome to the Geek Den for issue 31 and 32 of the Back to the Future DeLorean build. The reason I've clubbed the two together is because there wasn't actually much to do in issue 31. It's just these panels, and it was just easier to club the two together. But these are the front of the magazine and these are the parts. But firstly we'll be going to be doing issue 31. This is issue 31. As you can see, we've got right and left rear chassis plates which go underneath, which we'll do in just a second. Some more behind the scenes and the writing team and stuff like that for the Back to the Future. And then we've got a letter to Doc. Now these magazines are getting tedious, I think now. Might not be the only one thinking that. And then obviously I've also got issue 32. So let's get on with issue 31. Okay, so these sections will go on here. The good thing is they have these I don't know if we can pick it up very well, these little sections here that just click in. So let's click them both in so we know where we're supposedly screwing. And we'll just line them up just like this. There we go. Okay, so let's get screwing. Okay, so these sections are done, as you can see. If you're wondering why I didn't video myself screwing them up all the way, is because really there's no point. You should know how to screw it all in, but they're the plates here, as you can see, so they fit in very nicely. So let's get on to the next issue, issue 32. So in this issue we get, hang on a second. So in this issue we get the battery box, the top of the fuel tank, these little tabs and a set of screws obviously. And this is how the battery box goes into the fuel tank and then goes into the car. So all this work is basically on top of the car, apart from this bit here where you screw in the that. And then we've got the greatest sequel ever told, so the Back to the Future's Back to the writing team that we had in the previous issue. And this is even smaller than the last bit, so we've only got 1, 2, 3 pages. And then we have like the, I don't really know, this guide trivia thing, I don't know. We'll also be bringing you issue 33, so we'll be back on track. So we're back to the single episode of us bringing you this, but this is basically the underneath. So the underneath for the fuel tank and the battery box lid is what we get in our next issue, which we'll be bringing you here at the Geek Den. So click to subscribe. And there's all the parts. So let's get on. Okay, so here we go. So let's grab the box. Just line it up. Make sure these wires are either side. Hang on a sec. Make sure these wires are under here. They go under this one. Back around here. With this, we'll literally just push it in just like that, not too far down. Then we're going to grab the FP screws, which are these, and screw them in. One there. Making sure that the wires are trapped. I I've got to say one thing, I didn't like the way that they had this, which they had it wrapped around and then this part pushed through all the wires. I'll get it out eventually, but I was very cautious of breaking the wires. So that is this section done. So afterwards it should look like this. Okay, so we need more F, and we need the car. So let's bring that in. So basically this bit here, so the wires go through here and through this little section here, and that goes in there. Now we need to flip the car. There's a lot of flipping this car about, and I'm very cautious about the engine getting flipped. Now let's screw in this bit. Fits in actually quite nicely. So just support it underneath with your hand. Let's just secure the first section in. These are the FP screws that we are using on this section. Once again, just support it from underneath. And our last one, which is here. And that is it done for that section. So now we're going to turn it back over, and this wire has to go through this sections here. We have the little tabs that they use, so let's get them out. And we're using the KM screws to tap these in. So this secures the wire down and holds it in place. So let's do this. Oh, this is going to be fiddly. So, with the wire and everything, this is very fiddly. Let's turn this around. So we can see it a little bit better. Right, so the screw goes in this side. The first bit done. Okay, so the best thing is to put the screw in first. Like that. Now one of these holes is slightly bigger than the other one. That's where this little tab goes in, and the screw goes in the slightly smaller hole. So this is very fiddly. I'm trying to try and hold it and then maneuver it around like that. So as you can see, one hole is slightly bigger than the other one. So this goes all the way up here. And that gets hold on. And then we screw this in. And that is it for this issue. This bit later on gets connected, I would imagine, into something else. We'll have a floor put in as well, so it will hide all these wires. Just hope that we There is some slack in that as well, it's quite good, so you can pull these wires about. But that is it for these 2 issues. It's getting a little bit more interesting. Not too much on the next issue to do, but hopefully we're building up now on the build. And that is it for this issue, and we'll see you at the next video.